got to start this tip video with a quote from Pete Cowen, legendary major champion golf coach. It says this: "Want to hook a child or novice or adult golfer forever? Get a putter grip, one that's got a flat side on it, and slip it onto a 9-iron. Tee the ball low and just tell them to keep the flat part of the golf grip pointing at them throughout the swing. They'll be astonished, and so will you, with how well it works. It ingrains fantastic motion, practically guarantees solid contact, and after years of trying this with a struggling student, I installed putter grips on all her golf clubs, and someone sniffed at me. But their grips are illegal, aren't they? I replied, it's either this or she quits. What do you prefer? Now, I want to talk to you about this drill. It's something that I've tried with so many of my students, and the effects are brilliant. Now, I obviously understand you're not going to slip a putter grip onto your 9-iron, so this is my version. Now, stick with me here. Go and grab your putter. Now, why this is a real great starting point is if you look at that flat side to the putter there, it sits at 90 degrees to the face. So, first point to this is what I would say, when you've got it down in front of you, you can clearly see if your face is open, the top of the grip is pointing, well, as you're looking at it from player cam, slightly to the right. As you're looking at it on the screen, slightly in this direction. You can clearly see if your face is closed at address, grip is pointing over this side, okay? So for me, that's like an extra added benefit. You know if your face is square down at address. Now, the whole idea of this drill, the very specific wording, was keep the putter grip pointing at you throughout. So that's this flat side. So for the sake of this video, let's use two markers. This and this here, okay? These little logos and these little logos. I bet everyone's looking at me like now saying, why on earth has he got a putter? I thought the same thing. Then I tried the drill, I got my students to try the drill, and they never looked back since. So, get that flat side pointing at you. So it's roughly pointing at me here, isn't it, to start with? I don't want you to start like this, so it's directly pointing at you, but it's pointing up towards you. It's not over here, it's not over here. Again, closed and open. Now watch this. I'm going to sort of come down the line to you here. This is amazing to see this effect. So halfway back, point the grip back at you. Well, perfect. This is one of the positions that we want to be in, halfway back, isn't it? Nicely on plane. If I was to go two inside and two flat, look where the grip points. If I was to go two away from me and two closed, look where the grip points. So in terms of keeping a square club face and getting on plane, boom, halfway back and to the top. Keep it pointing back at you. So from a backswing point of view, can you start to see how the lady Pete Cowen talked about went from almost probably quitting golf, from what he said, to then playing golf with something like this? She had a clear, direct idea of how to move that club through the backswing. Now, it's not only that, we've got to think about the positive effects this is going to have on the downswing also. We've got the effect of, okay, if I work over the top, halfway back down, the putter grip logo's pointing over here. If I work to underneath, it's pointing to behind me. If I keep this nicely on plane, it's pointing straight back at me. As I come into delivery, it's pointing straight back at me. And then on the follow through, it's again pointing straight back at me. If I was chicken winging, it doesn't point there. And if I was to flip too much, again, it doesn't point. I just can't tell you how simple that is just keep the flat side of that putter grip pointing at you throughout. In fact, let's just get that GoPro on my head again, shall we?
There is a lot of Pete Cowen drills out there though, especially on YouTube. What's the difference between this one?
Yeah, I mean, if you put that into YouTube search, so many come up. But what I would say is the difference with this one is, well, I think this is the easiest thing to say. Doesn't take any practice, and think about it, right? We all just want to go out and play. We actually don't have that much time. So this is one thing you could build into a pre-shot routine, take straight to the course, and keep saying this, but this stopped someone quitting.
Is it more of a case of the fact that you just need to get used to it then?
I would say, yeah, it's just following what I'm about to say of how they can actually do it with the actual club, because realistically, we're not going to slip it onto a 9-iron. And realistically, we're not going to go and put all of our clubs with putter grips on. So yeah, I think if you just follow the next 2 or 3 minutes, they'll be have all the information they know in order to take it into the game. So we've got the GoPro on now. This is what I'm wanting you to get from this video and the start of this. So look how the grip starts at the starting position. You can clearly see if it's open. You can clearly see if the club face is closed. Then we've got to think about how we're taking that club away. Halfway back is such a key position in the golf swing. Rory's made it part of his new swing. So look how that grip points back at you. A key thing for you to get. We don't want it too inside. We don't want it too away from you and closed. At the top of the backswing, again, this grip is pointing back at you. From this player cam perspective, literally all I would say is just copy it. Downswing wise, we don't want to be over the top. Grip points to target and not back at you. Get two underneath. Look how it points behind you. Points really far behind you. But if you get it into the right delivery, it again points back at you. I feel like I'm playing record here. Into impact, it points back at you. On the follow through, it points back at you. These are essentially the key moments in this video when you're looking at it with a putter grip. Now, let's talk about how we can actually apply this to our clubs out on the course. So this is actually my 7-iron now. How can I again take all that knowledge, and as I just said to you, why I think this is one of the best ones from Pete Cowen is that it doesn't take much practice. This is the real exciting bit, Em. This is what we're here for. Now I just need to do a quick club check, because I saw a video I put up a few weeks ago, everyone saying, well, doesn't it depend if your grips are on square or not? Well, yeah, perfect, let's check that. So, closely, can you see that line there? All right.
Move your finger.
Can you see that line now?
Yeah.
And can you see that line up here? This little one here.
Yeah.
Right, if I hold that up there, when the club face is square, they should sit on top of the golf club, right? Just do a quick grip check of yours and make sure they do. That's what we're looking for. If they sit to the right hand side, we don't want that. And if it's the left hand side, we don't want that. We're looking for it to be put on just as that one is there. That's really important, okay? Now, every golf grip, apart from if it's like completely black, will have this. And if your grips are all black and they didn't have any markings on, dead easy, you could just put some markings on the top, make sure it's directly in the top of the grip, at the butt end, and at the bottom end here, dead easy.
The majority of them of grips do come with it on though, don't they?
Yeah, I would say that 99% do, for sure.
And just to reiterate, you're saying you just need to do this check once and then
That's it, yeah.
you're good to go?
Once, good to go, and this drill will last you for your golfing life.
Wow, that's a big statement.
It's a big statement. Okay, so address position, make sure those lines are sitting on top. Really do make sure. Do you know what? I think the GoPro is probably needed on at the same time here, isn't it?
I think you just love this GoPro.
I just love the GoPro. It means I've got to take my hat off, so excuse the hair. No judging what I look like. Okay, so from that address position, you can see these lines pointing directly on top. Club face nice and square. Good starting point, okay? Again, that halfway back, we're looking to set that club with those lines now on that golf club pointing straight back at you. Look, it's that little line just there you can see from that GoPro. It's not around the corner. It's not out here. It's just there. Then all the way to the top. Here, look at that. Into delivery. Into impact, into the follow through, all the way to the finish. If you just work to that narrative of keeping this pointing back at you, you will literally have this nailed.
You mentioned address position as well. Is there anything that you do in particular when you're addressing the golf ball with 7-iron like you've got now?
I guess ball position will be different depending on what club, and hand position. So, like, I would say, like, that's where I would have 7-iron ball position just ahead of middle. And you can really see that probably quite well from that player cam, to be fair. And then hand position, get my grip sitting on top and then just push it forward slightly to where my knuckles on the front edge of the golf ball. That is what I would look at from that sort of address position. You know what? Let's hit that one away. Whew.
What does the hand, you made the change with the hand, what does that, do you find that you get more control? Or?
I just find that I can feel as though I can put a bit more pressure down the golf ball. But that's only important if we get that grip pointing back at us, okay? That's got to be the priority here in this lesson. So on the golf course, I would do that as part of my pre-shot routine. And what I mean by that is get your ball position, get your grip, do one practice swing, stood here, grip up, back at you, back at you, back at you, back at you, back at you. And then I would, and this is something that I've thought about for years, like Em will know this, I walk around the house setting the club like this, thinking about this grip pointing back at me.
Yep.
All the time.
All the time.
So I honestly just think if you had a little waggle just before you shot, like Rory does this, Thomas does this, Rose does this, the list goes on, just feel that, right, okay, that's the grip back at me, one look, and then hit away. And you've just got the set of the tone of your swing while you're getting what would be the flat edge of the putter grip to put back at you, to put back at you, to point back at you.
It's interesting that because I sometimes see golfers doing it, I think, what's the actual benefit of doing it? I didn't know, to be honest, if it was just something that people feel like they have to do, but there's no actual purpose in doing it.
Well, I think people do that and then have a waggle, what you're saying, and I think they just do it because they see people do it. But I would say doing it this way, you're actually getting some purpose to it. You've actually got something from it. You've got a feeling of the flat side or the lines pointing back at you, which is, like I said at the start of this video, don't look at the club face anymore for control, look at the grip.
Get that hat back on.
Is it bad?
Is
it bad?
Yeah.
Because I've had a hat on.
It's the definition of a hat hair.
Look, I'm all for, as long as everybody's improving, that is all I'm about. Is that better?
Much better.
Okay, to be honest, I think that's all this video is. We've got all the information we need to improve. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, I'm powered, well, such to say me and Em's now are powered by you, the viewer. So if you want Em to read out a question that you've got about your game, subscribe, turn the bell, pop it down below.